When you learn the dreadful truth about the narcissist or sociopath who betrayed you, you're in shock. But then, looking back, you may realize that there were multiple red flags. I'm Donna Andersen, author of lovefraud.com, and tonight I'll explain why you didn't see the betrayal coming, even when there were warning signs. So let's get started. In case you didn't know my personal backstory, I married a con man. He took a lot of money from me, cheated on me with multiple women and possibly men, and then even had a child with another woman during our marriage. I was totally blindsided by the sociopath, and I imagine that you were as well. After all, nobody knowingly gets tangled up with somebody who lies, cheats, steals, injures, and betrays us. So, how did this happen? Well, I can look back and see that there were warning signs of disaster, and maybe you can too. But we didn't see them before we got into trouble. So here are 4 reasons why we didn't see the warning signs of sociopathic behavior. Number 1, human beings are biologically programmed to trust. The human race survived as a species because of trust. A researcher named Paul Zak wrote a book about trust, which is called The Moral Molecule. He says that back when we were cavemen and cavewomen, trust enabled us to live in groups, which enabled us to protect ourselves, which enabled the species to survive. So, how does this work? Well, Zak explains that trust is linked to the hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin makes us feel calm, trusting, and content, and eliminates fear and anxiety. Another hormone, vasopressin, has a similar effect. Both of these chemicals interact with dopamine reward system in our brains. This creates the feelings of pleasure that are associated with romantic love. So, when we're in love or excited about the possibility of love, we get flooded with oxytocin and vasopressin. We feel good, so the last thing we're looking for is a buzzkill. If there are any warning signs of bad behavior, we just gloss over them. Here's reason number 2. Sociopaths get the oxytocin flowing. Sociopaths get us pumped up, specifically pumped up with oxytocin. I doubt that many of them understand the biology of what they're doing. But sociopaths certainly know that if they make us have feelings for them, they have a better chance of getting what they want. So, they shower us with attention and affection. They tell us that we're the lover they've been waiting for all their lives, and they quickly take us to bed. For the most part. Not everybody does that, but most of them do. Oxytocin is released into our brains and bloodstream when we experience intimacy, and not just sexual intimacy. Hugs, empathy, and even conversation cause our bodies to release oxytocin. So what happens? The oxytocin increases the level of trust for whomever we are interacting with. In this case, it's the sociopath. So again, we're happy, we're enjoying ourselves. The more intimacy we feel with this person, the more we trust, and the less we want anyone raining on our parade. So even if someone tries to warn us about this person's past behavior, we don't really want to hear it. Here's reason number 3. We don't know that sociopaths exist. Now, I've spoken to thousands of people who were targeted by sociopaths, and I can't tell you how many times they said to me, I never knew people like this existed. Why not? Because nobody tells us. We don't learn that approximately 12% of the population could be diagnosed with antisocial, narcissistic, borderline, histrionic, or psychopathic personality disorder. We don't learn that these people are fundamentally different from the rest of us. We don't learn that they do not have the ability to authentically love, and instead view other people as objects to be used. This is what we learn instead. We're all created equal. There's good in everyone. We're all God's children, and everyone deserves a second chance. And finally, everybody wants to be loved. And these sentiments are terrific, except if you're dealing with a sociopath. Now, notice that all of these statements include the words all or everyone. There's no mention of the exceptions. There's no mention of the 12% of humans who take advantage of the rest of us. So we don't know that we need to be careful. And finally, here's reason number 4. We want to live by the golden rule. Now, something else we've been taught all our lives is the golden rule, which of course is treat others the way you want to be treated. And this approach to life suits us. We like being nice and fair and considerate with people. We find it rewarding to help people. We take the golden rule to heart. We have no idea that there are millions of people who do not share this view. So when we treat them the way we want to be treated, we end up being deceived, exploited, and heartbroken. This is why the betrayal of the sociopath really pulls the rug out from under us. Not only do we have to deal with the profound betrayal, which is bad enough, we have to accept that the way we've always looked at life is not totally accurate. As much as we want to believe that there's good in everyone, and everyone has good inside and we're all the same, we learn the hard way that it's not true. The sad fact is that some people do not have good inside. There are some people who are rotten to the core. So, those are the 4 reasons why, when we're in the thrall of romance, we don't see the warning signs of bad behavior. So to review them, number 1, humans are biologically programmed to trust. Number 2, sociopaths get the oxytocin flowing. Number 3, we don't know that sociopaths exist. And number 4, we want to live by the golden rule. Now, I know that when I finally understood what my sociopathic husband was all about, the person I was most angry with was myself. I was kicking myself for not seeing what was going on. I felt like a chump, and nobody wants to be a chump. You may know what I'm talking about. But I think we should all cut ourselves some slack. We didn't know what we didn't know. We grew up in a society that hid the truth from us. The sociopath hijacked the foundation of our humanity, which is our trust. We know now, but we didn't know then. So I think that we should recognize that we were targeted, and all we did was respond like a normal human being.